Hello everybody, welcome to this presentation about the usage of player-centric rule and pattern-based adaptation asset developed in the scope of the RAGE project. The asset is about the personalization and adaptation in live games and can be used together with the other assets developed in the scope of the project. Its main idea is to use player metrics regarding the player performance, emotional state of the player or playing style for achieving a dynamic adaptation on the fly or personalization of different game features such as game content, player-driven game tasks, help, game assistant, or dynamic adjustment of difficulty and game dynamics, or different properties of audiovisual content. Thus, it makes use of simple formal definitions of rule and patterns, a variation of metrics during the playtime, or their features such as mean or moving average for desired time window, denoted here as delta t. After having such a formal definition for a given metric or the pattern checks each incoming metric value for occurrences of a rule of the pattern defined for the metric or its feature, and in case of finding this occurrence, it fires a triggering event, which means the pattern is found, and executes the event handler, which should be customized by the game developer for further adaptation of the game. We provide three different pattern examples. The first is with absolute value sequence of the average feature of the galvanic skin response metric or electrodermal activity. Here the metric is abbreviated as GSR. Its feature is defined to be the average, and the time sequence is given by the moment t, 3 seconds after t or 3 thousandths of milliseconds, 6 seconds after t, and 9 seconds after t. And this is the absolute value sequence, which means that at the first moment the value should be 16, at the second moment 3 minutes after t it should be 20, at the moment 6 seconds after the initial time moment it should be 24, and finally it should be equal to 20. The example shows a simple development of the GSR signal and two occurrences found of this GSR mean pattern found at times t1 equal to 6 seconds and t2 equals to 11 seconds. The first is denoted by the red squares and the second by the yellow triangles. The second example is about a relative value sequence and absolute time sequence, which is the opposite of the first example. Here the metric is the emotional state called happiness. Its feature is the moving average, and here is the time sequence, which is absolute values, 3 absolute values, and the relative value sequence, x plus 10 and x minus 20. And on these two sample graphics there are found two occurrences of this happy pattern for the moment 2 seconds, 5 seconds and 10 seconds after the beginning. So the first pattern starts with x equal to 42 here, respectively x plus 10, this is 52, and x minus 20, which is 22. And the second pattern starts with x equals to 6. Example is for checking if the metric about the quiz result without any features defined is between 20 and 30 points. So here the metric is quiz result, there is no feature defined, so for the feature value we have none. And the time sequence is defined by the interval between the 3rd and the 8th minute, with the operators greater than and less than. And also these same operators are used for definition of the metric values which should be between 20 and 30. So we are interested in finding the search results of the quiz, which are between these values within this time interval, which starts here and finishes here, and which duration is 300 seconds or 5 minutes. We are going to find all the values between 30 and 20 or within this interval. So this value will not produce an event because it is out of the time interval. This is also out because it's greater than 30, but this is in. This is out because it is less than 20. This is in, and this is out because it is after the end of the time period. So these values which are inside the time scroll frame and inside this interval, which will produce the event and will start the event handler, which is defined for this rule. The player-centric rule and pattern-based adaptation asset is provided as a client component with an DLL. It is developed for Windows Vista or higher versions of Windows and uses Microsoft.NET 3.5. The source project requirements include Microsoft Visual Studio Professional and support of. The basic classics are Player-centric statistic extractor, which has one method pattern event handler, which should be overwritten by or changing game features by the game developer, and the player-centric rule pattern, which is responsible for implementation of all the metrics and patterns for this asset. Also, they are provided two other classes, rule-based adaptation and rule-based adaptation asset settings, which are classes responsible for the asset. Next, we are providing the integration steps. First, you have to download the zip file with the DLLs implementing the asset functionality. You have to copy this archive in your folder, in your Unity project if you are going to use Unity for your game, and uncompress it in this folder. And so finally you will have a Rage Asset Manager DLL and a rule-based adaptation DLL. Next, and the first step, you have to import these DLL files into your Unity project, and next you have to add DLL files to the references of your project in Visual Studio or the environment you are using for your C# code. So this is a picture showing the screen of this. And next, you have to add to your game project in Visual Studio a class which extends the after class Play-centric statistic extractor. Let's call this class pattern-based adaptation asset. And we have to implement the method pattern event handler in order to do the adaptation of our game. It takes two parameters. First, pattern input contains the input list of founded patterns for this instance of the asset, and next the game object is the game where the asset is used, an object which represents the game which will be adapted. So the method should be defined, should define what action will trigger on the game object depending on founded pattern. And finally, we have to create an instance of the pattern-based adaptation asset, the class we have defined as an extension of the basic class, and we have to provide the start method, which has to define and register all the metrics and patterns. When the metric value is changed, a new value has to be set in the corresponding metric for the method called setMetricValue. So each time when we have a new value of the metric, it has to be set to the pattern, and in the end the event handler will be executed upon the list of the rule pattern name and which act as adaptation method for changing some of the game features. Also, at any time we can change, set or reset the global time for our model by the set global time, like here in the example, and also we can set new values for the time window, which is used for the measuring of the values by the method set time window. The value of the asset is really great because it provides independence from the game logic, dynamics and scenarios. It has independence from the game engine, though the examples here are with Unity. You can use any other game engine. It is easy to be used and to be integrated because no specific domain expertise is required to use the asset. The game developer anyway has to provide some rules or patterns, probably suggested by trainers, pedagogues or psychologists, and it provides also flexible control, meaning the patterns and rules of metric variation and also for the time window can be set at any time or cancelled for monitoring during the time. Finally, it provides monitoring of various, it can be used for monitoring of various player-centric metrics, such as player performance, emotional status, and or playing style. You can follow a working demo in Unity where the asset is integrated into a rollable Unity adaptive game, where the game difficulty increases by decreasing the ball size when the player results is getting higher. So the adaptivity is reached by using this asset. And here at this address you can follow the demonstration of this sample and very simple adaptive game. Thank you for your attention, and for sure if you have further suggestions and proposals, please do not hesitate to write to us. Thank you again and have a good night.